that this is not authentic. I want to tell you that there is always a number for you to be able to identify. And apart from that, we are just being foolish at some point as users of the internet, because we have a manifold of search engines on Google that you can use to be able to identify whether an information is false or true. For example, if you send me any video now, I can use Invid. Invid is an application. You send me any video, I will tell you where this video was done, at what time it was done, who did it, and for what position they stood. I'll be able to tell you how that video came about. You tell me, if you bring a photo, I will tell you where the photo was taken, the year it was taken, the time it was taken. So just to tell you that we have search engines.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our platform, The Inside. As you all know, here in The Inside, we get to go through every sector of the economy, like the professionals from each sector of the economy, for us to better understand exactly what's going on in different sectors. So today we'll be having something very important, very special, looking at our situation today in the country and all over the world. So today we have in our presence Mr. Tata, with whom we will be talking about information and media in general. So welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be on the set with you, cognizant upon the fact that sharing knowledge is always a lifestyle. I am Tata Elvis. I am an MC, I'm a media practitioner and a peace enthusiast. So I love to be able to change the narrative through public speaking skills and be able to channel information through the appropriate headquarters. It's always an honor to share knowledge when I'm on the platform with people like you, Mr. Messi.
Thank you very much, sir. So I think before diving into the main issue of the day, which is information and the media itself, I would like you, I don't know if you could give us like a brief background story of how you got into the media space.
My story is a little bit complicated. Back in Form 4, I found myself as an announcer in our community radio, Donga Mountain Community Radio, later on to Dan Baturi FM, Savannah Frontier Radio, and eventually Millennium TV. So imagine in secondary school, I'm already putting my tentacles into the media outlet, going to university to study now. I was no longer studying theory. I was no longer studying practicals. I was rather studying theory, because I already mastered the art of the practicals. So a lot of times I was already comfortable around the microphone, comfortable around the public space, so speaking became a lifestyle. So that's my journey until in Boya, where I was at Mount Cameroon FM. I wrote for the Post newspaper, for the Rambler. In Yaoundé, I wrote for the Guardian Post newspaper. I mean, all of this has pushed me and catapulted me. I've even been selected to work for Equinox Television, except that I turned it down. So it's all about choice. It's all about choice. We have preferences in life, we have things we have to do, but communication is an asset that we have to use it perfectly in order to edify our communities.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I think your story is very, very impressive. He has been in so many fields and has done so much. He's in the field, I think, close to a decade, right?
Of course.
Close to a decade already. So much experience. Sir, regarding our subject of the day, which is information, and the media landscape itself, like, I don't know if you could break it down for our viewers to understand, like, what is information?
All right. Information simply is the ability to have something in the head, an idea in the head, and you're ready to transmit to another person, the receiver. So in information, there are two people involved, the sender of the information and the receiver of the information. But you cannot send out information when you have nothing. The informant must have something in their head to be able to transmit to another. So in information, one has an idea, it could be a good idea or a bad idea. That's where we will now have to cut the balance between hate speech, bad speech, free speech, and all of that. So at some point, we get to understand that information is manifold, because in day backs, our parents used to communicate, but they want to transmit a message about a thing. Maybe they'll use town criers, they'll use somebody with a gong hitting and talking around the community to be able to say, okay, there's cleanup campaign today, there is this. Different communities used to have different measures of information and communicating. But now there is a shift in our present day dispensation where there is digitalization, and now communication has changed its form. Now people are using it differently. Maybe I will be able to answer this in your follow-up questions.
Okay. Thank you very much. You guys have heard, that's like a short, brief breakdown of what information is all about. So I would like to move on to something else concerning, like, viewing the nature of our country in all aspects. In relation to the information flow, what can you say about the nature of information flow in Cameroon?
There's a lot to say about that, but I'll always try to narrow it down because what I'm learning to do now is to try to be brief in everything I do.
Yes, sir.
Uh, we have a big problem, and the big problem is access to information. Access to information. It means that there is a lot of administrative bottlenecks. I come to an institution and then I want to find information about that institution. So there's a lot of administrative bottlenecks. It could be in the ministries, it could be in the regional delegations, it could be the divisional delegations, subdivisional delegations. You see, at some point, it's difficult to have access to information. You see someone writing a report on a particular thing and is finding information, be you a student, a journalist, or just an academic enthusiast who is trying to get information to be able to do a particular thing for nation building processes, but you see they are unable to access the information that they need. So access to information is the main problem we have in terms of communication in Cameroon. Then the second thing is the manipulative use of this information.
Exactly.
At some point when you now get the information, we tend to manipulate the information or twist it to be able to satisfy our ego or our interest. And at some point you see that's another problem we have in communication or in information in Cameroon. Another major problem we have when it comes to information flow in Cameroon is biases. Bias. People tend to be too biased. They don't say things as objectively as they ought to be. And at some point, you may not blame the people because the human brain can be frail or can fail them. They may not be able to say the exact or recount the exact events the way they happened. That's why we have a problem in our histories, because what people used to have in day backs, somebody who was in 1961,
Yes.
in 1972, in 1984, during these epochs that we had in Cameroon, the person who was there may say certain things now because of the fact that they are forgetting, their brains are failing them. They may say a different thing, meaning another thing. And you who is of this dispensation, you may capture it and think that that's what it actually meant, whereas he was saying a different thing or his brain failed him. So human brains can also get tired. And you may not totally say that it is their fault, but just understand that there are a lot of manifold of things that can be able to break down and slam down information flow in our country. So those are the major obstacles and hindrances that I can sideline.
Okay. I think that's clear enough. Sir, I would like us to relate this with social media platforms. Like the flow of information. There is so much information out there on social media platforms. And now, how true is it? That is the problem. So I would like you to let us know how can we say, where can we find true information?
Okay.
What are those key sources? Like if I go here or here, I know this information is factual, this is factual, this might be a lie. So what are those platforms or areas where we could find real information, truthful information?
All right. Given that we are in a Gen Z generation, a generation where you can just sit on your bed and you are able to fabricate anything and you produce it as news. You take a newspaper, you tell AI to transform the newspaper page to look different. I mean, you will never know what is actually the difference, because I've been at Guardian Post where I was writing. You will see a newspaper that we had not produced. Another person produced it and put it online. So how do you now know that this is authentic and this is not authentic? I want to tell you that there is always a number for you to be able to identify. And apart from that, we are just being foolish at some points as users of the internet, because we have a manifold of search engines on Google that you can use to be able to identify whether an information is false or true. For example, if you send me any video now, I can use Invid. Invid is an application. You send me any video, I will tell you where this video was done, at what time it was done, who did it, and from what position they stood. I'll be able to tell you how that video came about. You tell me, if you bring a photo, I will tell you where the photo was taken, the year it was taken, the time it was taken. So it's just to tell you that we have search engines, but we don't make use of them. You need to go to Google and learn from there about the different search engines that are there for us to be able to identify fake news and misinformation and disinformation. For example, you see crises were alarming in some parts of the country. You see somebody who takes something that happened in Somalia and make it look like it happened in Cameroon. So that's misinformation. That's misinformation. But you'll be able to identify that if you have this social media intellect, you are able to take the information and put in these different applications that gives you veridic or true information. So the only way you can identify fake news and true news is by being able to know how to use the different search engines. Go and use InVid, like I said, to be able to check on videos. There are also apps to be able to identify whether a photo is fake or true. So get to Google, get to YouTube, get to do research around this. You will be astonished and surprised as to the kind of things we have on internet that can help us stay clear from dis, and malinformation.
Okay, thank you, sir. This relating to, I would like cite an example. Okay, for instance, let's say writing an essay, right? A proper essay should have intro, that's the
Introduction, the
introduction,
body,
body,
and the conclusion.
conclusion.
Yeah,
Relating this to the information, our topic of the day,
yeah.
like what are those key criteria we could that identify like true information, like good information?
Oh,
Let me put it,
credible,
good,
credible
credible
information.
information.
Okay.
What are those criteria?
Um, I believe that for any information to be credible, true, and factual, we always have what we call the WH questions. You should always be able to ask the who, the where, the what, the when, the why. You look at those WH questions, it will be able to guide you to know that this information is true. You don't just get up and say that it happened here. Who did what? Where did it happen? How did it happen? Why did it happen? When? You understand? So when you're able to ask these WH questions, it helps you to channel your mindset into the veracity or the truthfulness of that question or of that news that you have had. That's why in listening to every news, and that's why some media outlets in Cameroon, even national stations, people have mixed feelings because the information shared, be it on private media organs or on the state media, at some point it's always biased. It favors a particular side. In media and in communication, there should be objectivity. There should be objectivity. Don't say things because you want to be partisan. Don't say things because you want to take side and make another party to be of the winning side. Let me talk to you about Press Hour. No, not Press Hour. Let me talk about Espace Politique. It's a program that I follow sometimes on the Maiden TV that we all know. But I have a problem because the way time is allocated is not correct. Time is not allocated the same for all the different parties. You see, a particular party will come, they'll give them more hours or more time. Then another one will come, they'll give them fewer. It does not resonate. If we're talking democracy, we are in a democratic society. You know, the aspects of democracy are participation, accountability, responsibility. You must be able to remain true. Participation, like I have said, those are the elements of good governance and accountability and good and democracy. Democracy, demos kratos, means that power to the people. People should be able to freely operate without constraints. People should be able to speak, not having freedom before speech, and then after speech you are not free. You should have freedom before and after speech. That's what we mean by freedom. But do we have this freedom? That's the $1,000,000 question. The freedom is not always there. But should we have the freedom to be able to express our minds and cause the change that is intended? I'm sure that will be communication. That will be the media. That will be the veracity and the credibility of information. So to me, I think when we talk media, let us talk objectivity. When we talk media, let us talk participation. When we talk media, let's talk inclusivity. When we talk media, let's talk media that transforms, transformation, education, and entertainment. Let us talk media from that land, from that paradigm.
Okay, so following this up, because you've made mention of political platforms, I would like to understand, but relating still to information, I would like to understand something like Cameroon being a bilingual country, two languages, French, English. What do you think, what impact or what role has that aspect played in terms of information or communication or media space?
Everything remaining constant, I want to be very objective and optimistic. I think that is an asset for Cameroon instead. That is a cool thing for Cameroon. That is a cool thing for Cameroon. Why? Because in Cameroon and Canada across the world are the only countries that speak French and English as bilingual countries. I mean, that's an asset. We are on a gold mine. I think that should not instead hamper communication. It should not hamper information flow. It's an asset. Everyone should learn at some point to turn to be bilingual. Because avant, je m'exprimais pas en français. Vous voyez? Okay. I was not speaking good French. Okay. But now, from time to time, I try to speak some French to be able to level up and measure up. Because the country is gradually shifting. Imagine that I teach at British College. At British College where half of my class, in fact, I can have 50 learners per class, but 49 are francophones. How do you call them francophones? You cannot call them francophones. They are people who are doing the Anglophone subsystem of education, so they are not francophones. They are francophones by birth, but by education, they are Anglophones. So I think that in the next 10 years, we'll have a Cameroon, a cream of Cameroon with bilingual citizens, where everybody will be able to flow in both languages each way. That is the Cameroon we're talking about. Those things used to happen in day backs where people are afraid or scared to speak French. But I'm happy that the majority of the Anglophone community that I know, most of them now are making strides to speak French very well and English very well. And that's how we get to transform the community that we have as ours. Information can never be retarded because of bilingualism. Bilingualism is instead a plus. French is romance, English is diplomacy. So that's, you merge romance and diplomacy, you are cool.
French is romance, English is diplomacy.
Yes.
Very, very, very amazing. So, sir, let's say let's say the younger generation, to be specific, for those who are like have ambitions or aims to get into the media space, like what advice do you have for them? Like what can you say to them in order to direct their steps and encourage them?
I'm just trying to say no to gumbo journalism. Gumbo journalism means I always want to get something before a good work is done. Don't take side. Stay objective. Stay on your lane. Say what is. Don't say what is not. Be objective. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to your cause. Information is power. There's power in the tongue. What you spread out there can either mar or make the community, can either mar or make the country. Let us be careful with the way we use language, how we are able to communicate. Let us be precise, clear, and concise. To me, I think we must be objective in our approach, whatever the case may be. As a media practitioner, a journalist, a public speaker, whoever are you? And let us not make this thing misconstrued. Wherever you are, you can be a public speaker. The medical doctor is a public speaker. The buyer and seller in the market is a public speaker. The teacher is a public speaker. Everybody is a public speaker. We should be able to make use of information rightly and well to be able to change narratives. We are here to construct a nation, and nation building processes can only happen if we put hands on deck to make the world a better place by being true with the information we share out there.
Okay, you guys have heard from the professional himself, close to a decade in the media field. So before we wrap up, I would like you to like maybe tell us a little bit about your MC, the MC part of you.
Yeah.
Because I know you are an MC and you've done so many occasions, handled so many occasions.
Yes.
So just in case someone is in need of your service.
Wow.
So how is it done? Like how do you function in that aspect?
Okay. All right. Thank you a lot, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Phenomenal. When I'm in the public space, I am an MC. I'm a corporate communicator. I speak to facilitate events. I change events. I take the event from zero to something. I make the event the best thing you'd ever think about. I transform events. I make the event the best thing in the world. So I have the energy, I have the vibe, I have the temerity. I'm able to make the event just the way you want it to be. And I do from traditional marriages to civil marriages to wedding ceremonies at home, in halls around the cities of Yaoundé, Douala, everywhere around the country. But I am also ready to fly abroad if you don't mind. So always make these things, call around. I am Mr. Phenomenal. I MC corporate and traditional events, and I'm bilingual. I'm top notch. I'm on point. Raison pour laquelle je vous invite donc de temps en temps de me joindre sur Facebook, sur X, sur IG et sur les autres appareils sociaux. I'm very, very motivated to be at your event, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to be able to sell myself. And I'm happy with the collaboration we are already having. I'm sure this is going to go a long way to be able to step our game. As I work with you, you work with me, we are building a team. That's what Cameroon should be. Scratch my back, I scratch your back. Not like in politics, but like in changing our game together. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. So as you all know, as usual, I'll put out his social media handles for you to get in contact with him in need of more information or his services as an NCO, whichever part you would like to get associated with. So Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very
I
much.
really do
It's a pleasure.
appreciate.
I'm motivated. I'm motivated.
As you all know, stay focused, always keep open ears, and you understand. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for staying on to this very time. So, as you all know, like, share, subscribe. Let's spread the love and make this grow in order to keep our country moving. Thank you. One
Thank
love.
you very much. It's cool to be here.